in the resolution.
Oh, it is in the resolution.
Yeah, it's
Okay.
in the resolution.
Yep.
I'm calling it.
Come on in.
Oh, that's right. This thing stays
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make it hurry before the sheriff comes.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I call this special board meeting to order. Yes, no, I'll read the agenda item. We have one item on the agenda, 2.1, discussion and our action concerning an emergency resolution in response to COVID-19.
Mr. President, I move that the board adopt Resolution 03-20-1977, COVID-19.
Second.
We have a motion by Mrs. Santani, a second by Ms. Morrison.
Mr. President, I'll read the resolution now if you find it appropriate.
Thank you, sir.
Lafayette Parish School Board Declaration of Public Emergency Resolution 03-20-1977, COVID-19. Whereas on December 31st, 2019, officials in China alerted the World Health Organization to several cases of an unknown respiratory illness primarily concentrated in the city of Wuhan, Hubei province. And whereas after further investigating the illness and ruling out the recurrence of other previously known viruses, officials on January 7th, 2020 announced the discovery of a new virus belonging to the coronavirus family of viruses, COVID-19. And whereas over the following weeks, the Chinese government began to report additional cases of the virus, evidencing a propensity of the virus to spread throughout China and beyond. And whereas by January 30th, 2020, approximately 18 countries outside of China were reporting cases of the virus, causing the WHO to declare the virus a public health emergency of international concern. And whereas over the following weeks, the virus continued to spread to nations around the globe, infecting thousands of individuals. And whereas on March 11th, 2020, the WHO declared the coronavirus outbreak a global pandemic. And whereas on March 11th, 2020, the governor of the state of Louisiana declared a public health emergency over the coronavirus outbreak. And whereas on March 13th, 2020, the President of the United States of America declared a national emergency due to the coronavirus outbreak. And whereas in an attempt to combat the spread of the virus, the governor on March 13th, 2020 ordered the closure of all public elementary and secondary schools in Louisiana, beginning on March 16th, 2020, and ending on April 13th, 2020. And whereas many children depend on the services of the Lafayette Parish School Board for essential services such as the provision of healthy meals, and whereas while the cancellation of school will hopefully serve to combat the spread of the virus, such cancellation may put children at risk of not receiving enough healthy meals during the prolonged closure. And whereas the spread of the virus and its impact on the everyday lives of the school board students, faculty, staff, and their family members requires the school board to take unprecedented steps to combat the spread of the virus and to serve the children of Lafayette Parish. And whereas the sudden closure of all schools until April 13th, 2020 or later has also caused confusion and concern to employees of the school district about their ability to continue to be able to support their families through receipt of compensation from the school board. Now, therefore, the above recitals considered, the school board desires to utilize its assets in the fight against the coronavirus as more fully set forth below. And now, considering the foregoing, the school board hereby declares as follows. Be it declared that the Lafayette Parish School Board hereby declares a public emergency due to the outbreak of the COVID-19 virus. Be it further declared that notwithstanding any policy or rule to the contrary, the school board hereby confers emergency powers upon its superintendent of schools for purposes of leading the school board's response to the outbreak. Such emergency powers include, at the sole discretion of the superintendent, number 1, the authority to enter into any agreement or contract without any further board approval for the purchase of materials, equipment, supplies, or services for sanitation, cleaning, technology, and other COVID-19 related services and supplies on behalf of the school board. Number 2, the authority to supply and arrange for the delivery of meals to all children of the parish, 18 years of age or younger, at no cost to the child or his or her family. Number 3, the authority to continue to pay school employees their regular compensation during the period schools are closed. Number 4, the authority to adjust curriculum, work schedules, compensation, and staff assignments without any further board approval. Number 5, the authority to adjust the school calendar. Number 6, the authority to apply to Bessie, Louisiana Department of Education, and or the U.S. Department of Education, or any other governmental body for waivers of regulations or requirements, the compliance of which is impacted by COVID-19. Number 7, the authority to apply for waivers, grants, reimbursements, aid, and other COVID-19 related matters on behalf of the school board. Number 8, the authority to provide non-mandatory supplemental educational resources to students. And number 9, the authority to take any other action reasonably necessary to implement the above directives. Be it further declared that the superintendent is required to report in writing and at reasonable intervals to the school board as to the amount of expenditures made pursuant to this declaration, as well as the actions taken by the superintendent pursuant to this declaration. Be it further declared that in accordance with the governor's declaration, any bidding requirements of the Louisiana Public Bid Law, Louisiana Revised Statute 38:2212, applicable to any purchases related to the school board's response to the coronavirus outbreak, are hereby suspended. Be it further declared that Lafayette Parish School Board Policy File GBBB, Essential Personnel, is hereby suspended for the duration of school closures related to the coronavirus outbreak. Be it further declared that this declaration shall remain in effect until withdrawn by the school board. Be it further declared that notice of the provisions contained herein shall be published in the official journal of the Lafayette Parish School Board within 10 days hereof. This declaration is adopted by the Lafayette Parish School Board at a special meeting held on the 17th day of March, 2020, in Lafayette, Louisiana.
Thank you, Mrs. Santani. With that being read and said, do we have any public comment? Will there be any public comment on this agenda item? Hearing none, I ask, do we have any board member comment? Mr. Angel.
President, on page 1 of the declaration, the second to last whereas, does that word essential, does that relate to the essential services that where our employees get time and a half or 1.5 times their salary? Is that, are those two correlated in some kind of way? Could it be like a part?
On the first page?
Very first page. Second to last whereas.
With the healthy meals?
Yes. I'm talking about the word essential.
Right.
Could it be another word like important or something like that? And the reason I'm asking is because we have a policy about essential personnel, like working.
That'll be suspended. That's GBBB. And this was written by attorneys from throughout the state that puts this together for all school systems. So, any more board member comments, questions? Hearing none, Madam Secretary, I'll call for the vote.
Nine for, none against.
The motion carries. If there's nothing else, ladies and gentlemen, I hereby adjourn this special board meeting.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you for all your work last year.